Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, clutching your leg in agony, helpless, frightened, and wondering if something was seriously wrong? Or maybe you felt your legs trembling after walking just a few steps, like they were giving up on you. You're not alone, and more importantly, you're not powerless. My name is Dr. Matthew Lin, and I've spent over 30 years treating older adults across 3 continents. I've seen patients who struggled to get out of a chair without pain, who feared falling every time they walked down the stairs, and who believed their bodies were simply breaking down with age. But here's the truth most doctors never say aloud: it's not just aging. It's what you're feeding your body every single day. What you eat can either keep your legs strong, your mind sharp, and your balance steady, or it can silently erode the very foundation of your independence. And vegetables, while often praised as the healthiest foods, can be both heroes and hidden villains in this story. Today, I'll reveal 4 vegetables every senior should eat regularly, vegetables that protect your circulation, preserve your nerves, and even enhance your brain's ability to process movement. I'll also uncover 3 seemingly harmless vegetables that are silently weakening your legs, damaging your blood vessels, and increasing your risk of falls, the #1 cause of fatal injuries in people over 65. This is not theory. It's backed by science, by decades of patient outcomes, and by the stories of real people who changed their diets, and changed their lives. So stay with me. Your strength, stability, and confidence may just be a few simple food swaps away. And before we dive in, make sure to like this video and subscribe. We publish life-changing health insights every single week. Let's get into it. Number 1, broccoli. If you're over 60 and struggling with leg cramps, stiffness, or even just that heavy, dragging feeling in your lower limbs, I want you to pause and truly hear what I'm about to share. Because this isn't just a nutrition tip or some passing health fad. This is a clinically supported insight that could change the way your legs feel every time you stand up, walk to the kitchen, or try to sleep through the night. After working with thousands of older adults over the past 20 years, people just like you, who want to stay mobile, independent, and pain-free, I've come to see broccoli not as a vegetable, but as medicine disguised as a plant. Yes, broccoli. That humble, tree-like green you might have pushed aside as a child, it may very well be one of the most powerful foods in the fight against age-related decline in leg strength and circulation. Here's why. Broccoli contains a compound called sulforaphane, a natural phytochemical that acts like a microscopic firefighter inside your blood vessels and muscle tissue. Chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the most dangerous and invisible processes happening inside the aging body. It doesn't cause an immediate ouch; instead, it slowly corrodes your flexibility, hardens your arteries, weakens your bones, and eventually leads to pain, instability, and fatigue. Sulforaphane is one of the few natural compounds that's been shown to reduce this inflammation at the genetic level, literally switching off the pathways that promote swelling and damage in your joints and blood vessels. Now imagine what that means for your legs. When inflammation is reduced, the blood vessels leading to your calves and feet can finally relax. Blood can flow more freely. Oxygen and nutrients get delivered where they're needed. Tissues heal. Muscles regain responsiveness. And those crushing cramps, that burning sensation at night, or the numbness after walking for just a few minutes, they begin to fade. That's not hype. That's physiology. But sulforaphane isn't working alone. Broccoli is also one of the most efficient sources of vitamin K1 in nature, a critical nutrient for older adults that supports calcium delivery into the bones while preventing it from hardening inside your arteries. Think of it this way: your bones need calcium, yes, but without vitamin K1, that calcium may end up stiffening your blood vessels instead of strengthening your skeleton. That's why broccoli is such a dual-action hero. It strengthens your bones and protects your circulation at the same time. And let's not forget calcium itself. Broccoli contains a gentle, plant-based form of calcium that's easier to absorb than many dairy-based options, especially for those who are lactose intolerant or have trouble digesting milk products. It's also high in magnesium, a mineral essential for muscle relaxation and nerve signal regulation. Together, these nutrients work like a team: reduce inflammation, open the vessels, strengthen the bones, and calm the nerves. That's the formula for healthy legs. Now let me share a real-life story. Jean, a 72-year-old retired nurse from San Diego, came to my clinic complaining of chronic leg cramps that often woke her up at night. She'd tried magnesium pills, stretching routines, compression socks, nothing worked consistently. But when we looked at her diet, I noticed something: she wasn't eating any cruciferous vegetables. We added half a cup of steamed broccoli to her dinner every other night, along with a hydration routine and a little olive oil to help absorption. Within 3 weeks, she reported a dramatic decrease in her symptoms. Her sleep improved. Her steps felt steadier. Her confidence in walking outside, something she had been avoiding, came back. This isn't a one-off case. I've seen this pattern again and again in my practice. Because when we feed our aging bodies what they're really asking for, they respond. But there's one more important point I must stress: preparation. Don't boil your broccoli until it's limp and lifeless. Overcooking destroys sulforaphane. Instead, steam your broccoli gently, just 3 to 5 minutes, until it turns a rich, vibrant green and remains slightly crisp. That's when the nutrients are most bioavailable. Add a squeeze of lemon or a drizzle of olive oil, and you've just prepared one of the most medicinal meals your legs could ask for. To those watching this, especially if you're over 60, let me say this as plainly as I can: broccoli is not just food. It's protection. It's prevention. It's power. You may not see the changes overnight, but keep at it. Build the habit. Because every forkful is a vote in favor of your freedom. The freedom to walk confidently. To sleep without fear of spasms. To travel, to garden, to dance, to chase your grandkids, without worrying that your legs will give out. Don't wait until pain forces you to change. Choose the path of strength today, and let broccoli be part of that path. Number 2, spinach, the nitrate-rich brain and leg energizer. Spinach, in my 2 decades of treating and studying senior health, has earned a place not just in my clinic's nutritional protocols, but in the hearts of my most successful patients. It's not merely a leafy green, it's a quiet but powerful healer, especially for those over 60. Let me explain why. As we grow older, one of the most insidious threats we face is reduced circulation, the narrowing of vessels, the stiffness of arteries, the subtle but devastating decline in oxygen delivery to our muscles, our brain, and our extremities. This is why many older adults experience cold feet, brain fog, delayed reflexes, and yes, frequent muscle cramps or that eerie, tingling sensation in their toes. Spinach targets that very root. Rich in natural nitrates, and I'm not talking about the dangerous synthetic ones you find in processed meats, spinach delivers plant-based compounds that help dilate blood vessels. This means your arteries stay more flexible, blood flows more smoothly, and oxygen reaches where it's needed most: your legs, your feet, your memory centers in the brain. And the result? Better clarity, stronger steps, and calmer nights without the painful pull of cramps. But that's only scratching the surface. Spinach is also packed with lutein and folate, nutrients that protect your brain from cognitive decline. Lutein, in particular, has been shown to concentrate in the brain's cortex, enhancing memory, processing speed, and visual attention. I often tell my patients, a handful of spinach a day may do more for your brain than a crossword puzzle ever could. Then there's folate, critical for mental clarity, mood regulation, and even stroke prevention. Most seniors don't realize that low folate is often misdiagnosed as early dementia. But a simple adjustment in diet, with leafy greens like spinach at the forefront, can reverse that fog and bring back that sense of self. I remember Mr. Alfred, a retired mechanic who came to see me at 74. He was sharp once, the guy who could name any car part with his eyes closed, but lately, he'd been forgetting tools, even names of friends. His legs felt heavy, and he worried about losing his independence. We looked at his diet, barely any greens. We started with half a cup of steamed spinach added to his dinner 5 times a week. No drastic changes. But within 3 weeks, he reported clearer thinking and stronger steps. By 2 months, he was back under the hood, teaching his grandson the difference between a carburetor and an alternator, with a steady hand and a sharper mind. Spinach also brings protection for your vision, something that becomes increasingly vulnerable with age. The lutein and zeaxanthin it contains support the macula, the part of your eye responsible for clear central vision. Seniors who eat spinach regularly show lower risk for age-related macular degeneration, a condition that silently robs you of the ability to read, recognize faces, or drive safely. And let's not forget magnesium. Yes, spinach is one of the richest plant sources of this calming mineral. If potassium is the conductor of muscle signals, magnesium is the peacemaker, helping your muscles relax properly, preventing the spasms and cramps that keep you up at night or force you to stop mid-step. Now, as for preparation, I've seen too many people kill their spinach with overboiling. Please don't. Lightly sauté it in olive oil with a bit of garlic, or blend it into a morning smoothie. Steam it gently, just enough to soften but not drain its vibrant green. This preserves the nutrients and makes it more digestible for older guts. And if you don't enjoy the taste? Hide it in an omelette, mix it with mashed potatoes, or toss it into soup. You'll barely notice the flavor, but your body will thank you, especially your legs and your brain. One last thing, the iron in spinach, though non-heme, still plays a role in preventing fatigue and improving stamina. When combined with vitamin C from a squeeze of lemon or a few slices of bell pepper, its absorption improves significantly. So don't eat spinach alone, pair it wisely. In conclusion, spinach is not just another vegetable. For older adults, it's a daily insurance policy. It protects the eyes that guide your steps, the brain that remembers your past and navigates your future, and the legs that carry you through life with dignity. It's gentle, it's affordable, and it's a gift from nature that science continues to validate. So next time you prepare your plate, remember this: a handful of spinach might be the most intelligent decision you make all day. Number 3, carrots, the silent protectors of balance, vision, and leg strength. For more than 20 years, I've worked with older adults, and I can tell you without hesitation, the road to healthy aging isn't paved with expensive pills or miracle supplements. It's built, bite by bite, from the everyday choices you make at your table. One of the most underestimated yet powerful choices you can make. The humble carrot. It may look like a simple root, a crunchy, slightly sweet snack you toss into soup or slice into salads, but don't be fooled. For seniors, especially those over 60, carrots are neurological defenders, vision protectors, and balance supporters. Let's unpack why. Carrots are rich in beta-carotene, the compound that converts into vitamin A in your body, a nutrient that plays a central role in maintaining sharp vision. As we age, one of the most heartbreaking declines is the slow blurring of the world, needing more light to read, struggling to recognize faces, or fearing nighttime driving. But the deeper tragedy? Loss of sight is a key factor in loss of independence. Falls, missteps, wrong turns, they don't just come from leg weakness, but from eyes that no longer send clear, reliable signals to the brain. Vitamin A helps preserve that clarity. But carrots do more than just protect your vision, they preserve your footing. You see, balance is not just about strong legs. It's about the integration of sight, proprioception, your body's sense of where it is in space, and neuromuscular coordination. That's where carrots shine again. Their antioxidants, including lutein and zeaxanthin, help reduce inflammation around the nerves and blood vessels that keep your brain in sync with your feet. Without those clean, lightning-fast signals, your legs hesitate. Your steps become slower. And your confidence, one of the most critical factors in fall prevention, starts to waver. I remember Mrs. Clara, a 78-year-old former librarian who came into my clinic complaining of subtle balance issues. "Doctor," she said, "I don't feel dizzy, I just feel unsure." That sentence struck me. We ran all the tests, her heart was fine, her hearing intact. But her diet? Almost no colorful vegetables. We added a simple goal: 1 raw carrot daily, shredded into her sandwich, juiced into her morning smoothie, or just peeled and dipped in hummus. Combined with hydration and light physical therapy, her stability returned within weeks. She came back smiling, telling me she walked 3 blocks to the library, alone, confidently, for the first time in months. But carrots do more than support coordination, they also help the muscles themselves. Their natural sugars, combined with high levels of fiber, offer a slow, steady release of energy without the blood sugar spikes of white potatoes or processed carbs. That's critical. Because when your blood sugar swings wildly, your nerves suffer, your circulation falters, and your muscles lose stamina. Stable energy equals stable legs. Here's something else: carrots support gut health, and the gut-brain-muscle connection is real. The soluble fiber in carrots feeds the good bacteria in your digestive system, which in turn helps reduce systemic inflammation and improves nutrient absorption, including magnesium, potassium, and calcium, all of which are vital for cramp-free, functional leg movement. The best part? Carrots are versatile, affordable, and require no fancy preparation. Steam them lightly to enhance sweetness and preserve nutrients. Eat them raw for the crunch. Roast them with a touch of olive oil for a warming side dish. They fit into any meal, any schedule, any lifestyle, which means no excuses. Let's put it all together. If you're over 60, and you struggle with nighttime vision, worry about slips and falls, feel a little slower getting up from chairs, have noticed more leg cramps or hesitation when walking, then carrots might be a powerful step in the right direction. They're not flashy. They don't make headlines. But that's the beauty of them. They quietly fortify the very systems aging tries to erode: your eyes, your nervous system, your stability, and your energy. And let me say this clearly as a doctor: 1 carrot a day won't change your life overnight, but over time, it will change the way you live your life. It may be the difference between stumbling and standing tall, between sitting out and stepping forward. So tomorrow morning, when you think about what to eat, remember the quiet orange root that helps you see clearer, stand taller, and move with purpose. Sometimes the best medicine isn't in a bottle. It's in the produce aisle. Number 4, beets, the natural blood flow reviver and muscle oxygen booster. In all my years as a physician caring for aging adults, one of the most common, yet overlooked, issues I've seen isn't a disease, it's something subtler, a quiet slowing down. Patients tell me, "Doctor, I just feel heavier." Not in weight, but in movement. Their legs feel sluggish, their walks shorter, their stamina fading. And often, they assume it's just old age. But more times than not, the true culprit is poor circulation and oxygen delivery to the muscles, and one of the most powerful solutions I've found lies not in a medication, but in a ruby-colored root, beets. Beets are one of the most remarkable foods for seniors, especially those struggling with weak legs, early fatigue, or shortness of breath when walking. The magic lies in a natural compound called nitrate. When consumed, nitrate turns into nitric oxide in your body, a molecule that relaxes and expands blood vessels, allowing more oxygen-rich blood to reach your muscles. That means more fuel for every step, more stability when standing, and more freedom in daily movement. I once had a patient, Mr. Ramon, a 75-year-old retired carpenter from Texas, who loved morning walks with his wife. But he'd started cutting them short, out of breath by the third block, calves burning, sometimes even needing to rest on a bench. We ruled out major heart issues and instead looked at nutrition. Beets, I told him. Start slow, half a cup a day, roasted or juiced. Within 10 days, he told me, "Doc, I made it around the park again. No stops." The look in his eyes wasn't just relief, it was hope. But beets do more than widen arteries. They're loaded with antioxidants, especially betalains, which help fight inflammation, one of the silent drivers behind joint pain, stiffness, and muscle cramping. And let's not forget folate and iron, which help form healthy red blood cells, critical for transporting oxygen. Many older adults, particularly women post-menopause, have mild anemia they aren't even aware of, leading to cold hands and feet, fatigue, and slowed healing. Beets quietly restore what time often steals. Here's what makes them special: beets work fast and long-term. Studies show that even a single serving of beet juice can improve walking performance in older adults within hours. And consistent use over weeks improves endurance, reaction time, and even cognitive sharpness, because better blood flow doesn't just help your legs, it helps your brain, too. Now, if you're worried about taste, you're not alone. Some find beets earthy or too strong. But the key is in how you prepare them. Roasting beets with a little olive oil and rosemary brings out their sweetness. Blending them into a smoothie with apple or carrot masks the flavor. Or try finely grating raw beets into a salad with lemon juice. It's refreshing, vibrant, and gentle on digestion. Let's be clear, you don't need a mountain of beets. Just half a cup to 1 cup a few times a week is enough to feel the difference. And the benefits stack. The more consistently you give your muscles the oxygen they need, the longer they'll serve you without pain, without fatigue, and without the fear of falling. Beets also support detoxification, aiding the liver in processing waste more efficiently. That means less inflammation in the joints, better hormone balance, and a healthier metabolism overall, all of which contribute to stronger legs and steadier steps. Here's the big idea I want you to take away: if your legs are tired, if you dread walking to the mailbox, if you're cutting outings short because of cramping or breathlessness, your body isn't giving up. It's asking for help. And sometimes, help looks like a bowl of roasted beets. So the next time you're planning your meals, don't just think about calories or carbs, think about circulation, muscle strength, and brain clarity. Because one small choice, a spoonful of beets, can be the difference between watching life go by and walking confidently through it. As a doctor, I've prescribed many things in my life. But when it comes to energy, mobility, and long-term strength after 60, food is still the most powerful prescription I've ever written. After 20 years working closely with aging patients, I've come to believe something very deeply: the future of your legs, your balance, and your independence isn't written in a lab report, it's written in your kitchen. When you nourish your body with foods like broccoli, spinach, carrots, and beets, you're not just eating vegetables, you're feeding your strength. You're supporting oxygen to your muscles, nutrients to your bones, protection for your joints, and clarity for your brain. You're giving your legs the chance to carry you further, steadier, and pain-free for years to come. But here's the honest truth: it's not just about what you add to your plate. It's also about what you remove. Because while some vegetables fuel your freedom, others quietly sabotage it. Some vegetables may look innocent on the surface, colorful, crunchy, even considered healthy by most standards. But for aging adults, with slower metabolism, weaker circulation, and more sensitive joints, these veggies can become hidden traps. They trigger silent inflammation, rob you of strength, and weaken the very muscles you rely on to walk, stand, and stay independent. So now, let me show you the 3 vegetables you must avoid after 60, and explain exactly why they could be slowly, silently stealing your strength. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share may surprise you. Are you ready? Let's begin with the first one, a beautiful purple vegetable that could be inflaming your joints from the inside out. Number 1, eggplant. Eggplant belongs to the nightshade family, a group of vegetables that contain a compound called solanine. Solanine is a natural plant toxin, a defense mechanism, and while small doses don't harm most people, for older adults, it can become a slow-burning spark that fuels inflammation. It doesn't cause sharp pain like an injury. It's more like a dull, creeping pressure in your joints and legs, the kind that slowly drains your energy, weakens your stability, and steals your confidence to move freely. In many of my older patients, I've seen something alarming. Those who ate eggplant regularly, grilled, baked, stewed, or fried, reported more joint flare-ups, increased foot numbness, and even episodes of sudden muscle cramping. For some, these symptoms faded completely after removing eggplant from their diet. Coincidence? Not quite. Solanine has been linked in several studies to neuromuscular disruptions. That means your brain's signals to your muscles, especially those in your legs and feet, get scrambled. You may feel slower reaction times, stiff ankles, or that scary sensation of your knees giving out without warning. And let's talk about inflammation. Chronic inflammation in aging joints isn't just uncomfortable, it's disabling. It's the root of arthritis, poor circulation, and even neuropathy. When eggplant is added to an already inflamed system, it's like pouring gasoline on a smoldering fire. That's why I tell my senior patients, not every vegetable is right for every body, and especially not for every age. Let me share a story. Older adult Mrs. Ellen, 69, from Oregon, came to my clinic after struggling with morning leg stiffness and trouble getting up from chairs. She ate grilled eggplant twice a week, thinking it was heart-healthy. But after we ran an inflammation panel and discussed her diet, I asked her to cut eggplant for 30 days and increase her anti-inflammatory greens. Within 2 weeks, she reported less stiffness, better sleep, and, her words, walking without wincing. So why is this vegetable still praised everywhere? Because most nutrition advice is written for the general population, not for seniors with specific needs. And that's where the danger lies. At 25, your body handles solanine with ease. At 65? Not so much. Eggplant also lacks the minerals that help aging muscles relax, like magnesium or potassium. So instead of nourishing tired legs, it can tighten, inflame, and confuse them. Now, I'm not saying that everyone over 60 needs to fear eggplant like poison. But if you wake up with joint stiffness, feel heaviness in your legs, have arthritis or nerve pain, or experience balance issues that weren't there before, then this vegetable may be quietly contributing to your discomfort, and you deserve to know that. Warning: important note, cooking eggplant thoroughly doesn't eliminate solanine. In fact, frying it often makes matters worse by adding inflammatory oils into the mix. So if you truly want to reduce leg discomfort, eliminating eggplant entirely for 4 to 6 weeks is a safe experiment, and the results might just surprise you. Backhand index pointing right. Final thought: your joints carry your memories. Your legs hold your freedom. Don't let a seemingly harmless vegetable chip away at either. In the next section, we'll uncover another surprising veggie that seems fresh and healthy, but might be secretly causing tingling feet, leg fatigue, and circulation problems in seniors. You see them in salads, stir-fries, and almost every fridge in America. Ready to learn what it is? Let's move on. Number 2, green bell pepper, the colorful culprit behind nerve and circulation strain. At first glance, green bell peppers seem like the picture of health. Crisp, colorful, low in calories, they show up in salads, stir-fries, even healthy cooking shows. But here's a hard truth I've learned after 2 decades working with seniors: not all healthy foods are helpful after 60. And green bell peppers are a prime example of that silent betrayal. Let me walk you through this carefully. Green bell peppers belong to the nightshade family, just like eggplant, tomatoes, and white potatoes. These vegetables contain lectins, a type of protein that can disrupt digestion, irritate the gut lining, and quietly trigger chronic low-grade inflammation. Now you might ask, "Doctor, I've been eating bell peppers my whole life, what's the problem now?" The answer is, your body has changed. After age 60, our digestive barrier weakens, our immune system becomes more reactive, and our nerve endings become more sensitive, especially in the legs and feet. That means what was once harmless can now become a source of inflammation, poor absorption, and nerve misfiring. I've seen this pattern in patient after patient. Tingling toes. Numb feet. That strange, buzzing, or restless legs feeling at night. A sense of imbalance while walking that never used to be there. Many chalk it up to aging. But when we dive deeper, into food journals, blood work, and inflammation markers, the connection becomes clear. Lectin-heavy foods like green bell peppers may be quietly irritating the nervous system and blood vessels. Let me tell you about one patient, older adult Mr. Thayer, age 71, from Wisconsin. An active retired plumber who loved gardening. He began experiencing cold feet and an odd, crawling feeling in his calves, especially after dinner. He thought it was poor circulation. But after cutting green peppers from his meals, he was eating them almost daily in stir-fries, the sensations faded within 3 weeks. His words? I thought it was old age. Turns out it was my dinner. You see, green bell peppers are harvested before they fully ripen, which makes them harder to digest and much lower in antioxidants than their red, orange, or yellow counterparts. That means you get the gut-irritating lectins without the full anti-inflammatory protection the riper versions offer. From a medical standpoint, that's like having a car with a faulty engine and no brakes. Now let's add one more layer. Seniors with existing conditions, like diabetes, arthritis, neuropathy, or vascular disease, are especially vulnerable to this kind of inflammation. In these individuals, even minor dietary triggers can have major downstream effects on energy, sleep, and mobility. But here's what I want you to know. You don't need to fear food, you just need to choose smarter. If you love bell peppers, switch to red or yellow ones, and eat them in moderation. Always cook them lightly, never raw, to reduce lectin content. And if you've noticed strange leg symptoms or gut issues, try a 4-week elimination of green peppers and see how your body responds. It's a safe test, and the clarity you gain is worth everything. Summary for seniors. Green bell peppers equals high lectin, low antioxidant. Can irritate nerves, reduce circulation, and strain gut health. Worst choice for seniors with inflammation or leg weakness. Safer swaps, red bell pepper, riper, lightly cooked zucchini, or steamed carrots. Direct hit final message from experience. What we put in our mouths daily is either helping our legs stay strong, or slowly weakening them from the inside out. Green bell peppers might not knock you over today, but over time, they chip away at your confidence to walk, sleep, and move freely. In the next segment, we'll look at one of the most beloved vegetables in American homes, a comfort food found on nearly every plate, that may actually be draining your leg strength, stiffening your arteries, and silently increasing your risk of falls. You may never see this food the same way again. Let's reveal the truth in the next part. Number 3, white potatoes, the comfort food that quietly weakens your legs. There's something deeply nostalgic about white potatoes. For many of us, they bring back memories of family dinners, Sunday roasts, creamy mashed potatoes with gravy, the kind of comfort food that warms the heart and fills the belly. But in my years as a physician working with older adults, I've come to recognize a difficult truth: what comforts the heart can sometimes compromise the body. Let me say this clearly, white potatoes may be silently undermining your leg strength, circulation, and balance, especially after the age of 60. Now before you panic and toss every potato from your kitchen, hear me out. White potatoes are extremely high on the glycemic index, meaning they rapidly convert to sugar in the bloodstream. For seniors, whose insulin response is often slower and whose circulation is already under pressure, this rapid spike can trigger inflammation, nerve stress, and blood vessel strain, particularly in the extremities like the legs and feet. Over time, these repeated blood sugar surges contribute to neuropathy, tingling, burning, or numbness in the legs and feet. Poor circulation, cold toes, slow healing wounds, varicose veins. Muscle weakness, especially in the calves, making walking harder. Arterial stiffness, reducing blood flow to vital muscles and tissues. But here's where it gets worse: white potatoes are calorie-dense but nutrient-light. Unlike colorful vegetables rich in antioxidants, white potatoes offer very little in the way of cellular protection. That means they contribute to inflammation without helping your body fight it off. I once treated older adult Mrs. Brenda, 69, a retired nurse from Iowa, who was proud of her home-cooked meals. Mashed potatoes were her go-to side dish. She ate them almost daily. But over time, her legs began cramping more often, her ankles swelled easily, and walking up the stairs left her unusually winded. After examining her diet, I recommended switching to roasted sweet potatoes twice a week and adding more leafy greens. Within a month, she noticed less swelling, fewer cramps, and more energy in her legs. Her blood sugar readings also stabilized. She later told me, "I didn't realize such a small change could wake up my legs." Now, am I saying white potatoes are evil? No. But after 60, the risks begin to outweigh the rewards, especially when prepared with butter, cream, or deep-fried in oil, as they so often are. These additions compound the problem by increasing saturated fat and sodium, both enemies of healthy blood flow. What white potatoes lack? No fiber, unless skin on. Very few antioxidants. No anti-inflammatory compounds. Better alternatives. Sweet potatoes, rich in beta-carotene, fiber, and slow-burning carbs. Butternut squash, gentle on blood sugar and packed with nutrients. Turnips and rutabagas, old-school root veggies with a lighter footprint on blood sugar. Remember this, you don't have to give up comfort. You just have to redefine it. Comfort should not come at the cost of numb toes, shaky legs, or increased fall risk. As a doctor, I see too many seniors who accept muscle cramps, weakness, and fatigue as part of aging, when in truth, some of it is driven by daily food choices like the humble potato. Especially if you suffer from diabetes or prediabetes, poor leg circulation, frequent leg cramps, swelling or fluid retention, unexplained fatigue after eating. Then cutting back on white potatoes is one of the smartest steps you can take today. In summary, white potatoes are beloved, familiar, and deeply rooted in tradition, but their impact on blood sugar and circulation can erode leg strength over time. After 60, it's not about fear, it's about making food your ally in staying mobile, independent, and pain-free. In the final vegetable warning coming up, we'll explore a green that's often praised for being healthy, but could actually be damaging your joints and nerves, especially when eaten raw or too often. Trust me, you won't want to miss this one, because this last vegetable might be hiding in your fridge right now. So, let's pause for a moment and reflect. You've just learned about 4 humble vegetables: broccoli, spinach, carrots, and leafy greens, that can quietly become your greatest allies as you age. They don't just sit on your plate, they protect your bones, feed your muscles, clear your mind, and stabilize your steps. They are nature's medicine, disguised as food. But then, on the flip side, we expose the quiet villains: eggplant, green bell peppers, and white potatoes, vegetables that, despite their popularity, may silently chip away at your stability, inflame your joints, and cloud your nerves. Not because they're inherently evil, but because for people over 60, the body changes. What once helped, now may harm. And that's the takeaway I want to leave you with today. Aging doesn't have to mean surrendering. It means learning, adapting, choosing wisely. You don't need radical change. You need consistent, thoughtful nourishment, every single day. Every meal you eat is either building your strength, or draining it. Every bite you take can either help you stand tall, or push you closer to the chair you didn't plan to sit in yet. Think of your body as a house you've lived in for 60, 70, maybe 80 years. It's still standing, still sheltering you. But like any home, it needs maintenance. Not renovation, just care. So here's my advice, from one human to another: start small. Start now. Swap 1 plate of fried potatoes for roasted carrots. Replace the raw green bell pepper with a handful of spinach. Try tofu instead of white rice. A banana instead of a sweet pastry. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep choosing the foods that choose you back. And for those of you thinking, it's too late for me, let me tell you a story. I once had a patient, Mr. Tanaka, 84 years old. He had given up walking more than a few blocks. His legs ached, he feared falling. But he started small: leafy greens twice a day, swapped out nightshades, added tiny fish, stayed hydrated. 6 months later, he didn't just walk, he danced at his granddaughter's wedding. That's what's possible. And it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Now, before you go, here's what I'd love you to do. Leave a comment below, tell me one small change you'll make this week for your legs and your life. Hit the like button if you found this helpful, it helps more people discover this video. And most importantly, subscribe to this channel and tap the bell icon. Because next week, we'll dive into 5 hydration mistakes that silently worsen leg cramps, and you'll want to avoid every single one of them. Your best years aren't behind you, they're standing right ahead, waiting. Strong legs. Clear mind. Independent life. Let's walk into that future, one meal at a time. Thank you for watching. Take care, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next one.